The 66-year-old complainant, whose identity is covered by a publication ban, was stoic as she recalled going out with two co-workers to a bar near Yonge and St. Clair to celebrate her birthday. She said she is 90% sure it was in July 1981. She testified shortly after arriving at Rooney's bar, which was owned by Frank Stronach. She was surprised when Stronach walked in. He was her boss at the barn where she worked in Aurora, grooming horses. The woman said Stronach was carrying a bottle of champagne, walked over and stood at the head of their table and opened the bottle. She testified she told him, "I don't drink," and that was her last really clear memory. The woman said the next thing she remembered was being on the dance floor with Stronach. She testified her head was woozy and drunk, and she had no control over her body. "He's holding me very tightly. He's got an arm wrapped around me, and he's got his other hand in my crotch, and he's pushing his fingers inside of me. I recall pushing back, and I recall not understanding what was going on. I would never have consented to having any kind of sexual interaction with an old married man." The woman testified Stronach then shoved her into a booth, slid her into the corner, and continued to stick his fingers in her vagina. "He seemed like an octopus. He seemed to be all over me, and all I recall, I couldn't get away." The woman testified she next recalled waking up, lying on her back and seeing her face in a dimly lit mirror on the ceiling, where she saw a man's back and bottom and realized it was Frank Stronach who was having sex with her. "I realize what is going on. I realize I'm being raped in that moment. I had never consented to any of it. I would never have slept with an old man, particularly an old married man." The woman testified Stronach let her go to the bathroom, and after getting dressed, she realized she was in an apartment down near the harbor front, looking over the lake. She testified Stronach was acting blasé, like everything was normal. She said he drove her back to her car near Rooney's in his convertible. She says she never went back to work for him again. The complainant said she was humiliated, hurt, and angry, and originally did not go to police, saying, "Who's going to believe me? Someone who shovels manure against him." At the time, it always seemed to be the victim's fault. "I just wanted it to be over." 93-year-old Stronach has pleaded not guilty.